Do you guys want to hear the Doomsday theory I've been cooking up for a while now? It's about why RDJ is Doom. I think in order for us to understand their motivations for bringing him back, we need to study the comics in order to see which stories they'll be inspired by. In the Time Runs Out comic, which is a direct prelude to Secret Wars, Tony Stark plays a morally gray role. Tony is a part of the Illuminati who discover that the universes are colliding due to incursions. So they start building planet-destroying weapons to try and save their universe, and Tony is one of the loudest voices in favor of building these doomsday devices. And after their first initial plan failed, kind of Captain America's fault, not even gonna lie, they literally put him to sleep. Tony, with the help of Reed, go into building mode. They're literally like in survival mode. So they build antimatter bombs, a Dyson sphere laser literally wrapped around the sun, world-ending incursion missiles, an early warning incursion detection system, the whole nines. The Illuminati eventually test them, but they struggle with the moral weight of genocide, essentially. And Tony, as pragmatic as always, says, if it's us or them, it has to be them. Doesn't that sound exactly like something our MCU Tony would say? New mask. Same task. And around this time, Tony becomes pretty ruthless. He dons the endosim armor, he takes on the superior Stark persona, arrogant, cold, leaning harder into his utilitarian, save the world at any cost philosophy. And in this reality, Tony and Steve are literally going at it as another incursion is happening. But the multiverse, not even just their universe, the multiverse collapses, one universe after another. And this is what leads to Secret Wars and Battle World. I think this might be the storyline that inspired Marvel to bring RDJ back as Doom. I feel like everyone sees Tony through the lens of the sacrifice he ended up making in Endgame, proving Steve wrong as exactly the type of man that would make the sacrifice play. That will always remain true. And even in the Time Runs Out comic, when he's seen as malicious, his goal was to save his planet and everyone he loved, even if it meant making the sacrifice play. This variant of Tony was forced to become relentless and merciless because his planet's survival depended on it. And when I read stories about Doom and this version of Tony, the only difference I see is the power set, because morally they're so similar. The key difference is moral restraint. Strip Tony of that, like in the Time Runs Out comic, and you basically get Doom. So I think RDJ is playing a variant of Tony, inspired by the Time Runs Out comic, who went down the path of becoming a Doom-like figure. And this also lines up with the language the Russos and RDJ have been using to discuss his return. Their language has been deliberately non-specific, because I don't think RDJ is playing Victor Von Doom. I think he's playing that variant of Tony Stark from the Time Runs Out comic, who develops doomsday weapons and eventually chooses to go by Doom.